the materials we're gonna need are a piece of paper, notebook, just for you to sketch your idea or your artwork, color pens, pencils, you know, whatever you need to be able to sketch, scissors, eraser, thread, ruler, needle, and paper where your final artwork is gonna go. So step one, to sketch your idea. I mean, this is very optional. No, not everybody generally sketches what they're gonna do, but it's definitely a way to resolve your ideas. And so, for instance, I'm just gonna use squares. I tend to use quite geometric shapes a lot of the time. So yes. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a sketch, just by the way. It's also possible to do this with organic lines, so you know, wavy, not so straight lines. I just am quite the ruler follower. I don't know if that means anything. And then obviously you can layer as much as you want to, use whatever colors you choose to. Okay, that's my idea or sketch, nothing serious. So it's very, when you use your paper, when you embroidering on paper, you always need to consider how thick the paper is, because you're gonna pop holes into it, and essentially that's tearing it. So the thicker it is, the stronger it will hold. And also consider the spaces that you're gonna keep have in between each hole. So let me see, there's a lot of measuring going on with me, and so my ears are ringing. Okay, this is so I like very balanced, centered artworks. I don't know, it's just part of the process where it keeps me sane, I guess. And so measuring. So the first step is to trace your, so the sketch that you made, to trace that image onto your paper. And now I'm just counting down the space in between the two endings of the page. So for instance, this is 4 centimeters in. That's 4 centimeters in. From the other sides, I'm gonna say 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters in and 3 centimeters in. So this is not a necessary line. I'm gonna get rid of it. Okay. And also what you want to do is draw very lightly, because after popping your holes, you're going to erase the line so that it's not visible after you've threaded it. Okay. This is the first step. Cool. And then we get the needle and the thread. Using thread can be quite complicated because it's very delicate, and if you're not paying attention, it cannot, and that takes a lot of time to unknot, or you have to waste materials and start over again. So I always only release like a certain amount of thread so that it doesn't get too complicated. But I mean, as the more you go, the more it is easier to understand what your thread needs, and then getting it through the hole. And then knot it at the end so that when you thread it in the paper, it does not just slide through. I usually knot it twice just to make sure it stays like that. Okay, so we have our thread. As you can see, it's quite loose, but yeah, just pay attention to it because you don't want it to waste your time. All right, and then you can choose. You can either eyeball making the holes, or you can again take your ruler and decide the distance that you want in between the holes. So for now, I'll just say 0.5 centimeter for each hole. And then exactly on the other side, you do the same. All right, cool. And then we start. Step 3, I think. And then we pop the holes. And also another trick for you to think about, always think about where you want your image, because we're using 2 sides of the paper, the thread is going to show in different ways on each side, and you'll only realize what happens when you're done. So if you want this to be the front end, I suggest popping your holes on the top, because if you don't, then you will see the hole coming through that side. So for me, I like it when it's invisible. I like it when it looks like the thread is coming from nowhere. But it's also up to you if you like the engraving at the top. All right. So I'm gonna pop all of them so I can erase the pencil afterwards, so the pencil disappears. And yeah, be patient when you're threading. Ooh, be patient. And then also consider where you want your knot to be. So your knot can either be on the front end or it can be at the back end. I'm gonna hide my knot and put it at the back end. And so meaning I'm gonna put the needle through the hole at the back. See, and then that's a very big possibility. Don't panic, just loosen it up. I hope. Be patient with it. But don't tighten it. If you tighten it, then you'll have to start from scratch. And then it's loose. And so it goes all the way through. And then you start basically. Okay, wait, let me just pop the holes on this side also. And as you can see, something's already starting to happen at the back. See, something is always happening at the back as well. You know, sometimes there's an idea to display both sides. So yeah, you have that option as well when you're using thread and embroidery. It gives you 2 sides to the story, I feel like. And sometimes you don't always know where you started, so it can be quite exciting to just, you know, wait for the unexpected when you're embroidering on paper. Okay, so that's my first initial layer, and then I am going to add another one. So I will say 1 centimeter inside the original on both sides. Okay. And then we're gonna say, I mean, I can just count down 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna put it in here. Cool, so you do the same thing, you pop holes. At this time I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I'm going in that direction. 3, so. Alright, as you can see there are my holes again. You don't see them from this end. As you can see, as I keep going, it keeps layering. Layers both in the front and at the back. But your focus is not at the back. Ignore the back for now. It should be a surprise as you keep going. Another thing you must take note of is how you handle the paper as you're doing this, because paper bends, and to keep it professional or to keep it looking decent, you don't want your paper to have like bends and. Alright, that's my second layer done. Now we're going to try add a third layer. I'm going to go diagonal this time. So let's see. Luckily I don't have to draw lines again, because all the lines are already drawn for me with the thread. And let me see what I can do. Just be creative, I guess. Yeah, as you keep doing this, you learn ways to go faster, or you learn tricks to make it easier for you. But that again comes with the patience of doing it all the time, and that's definitely up to you. Right, I'm gonna go for the fourth layer now. So as you can see, something's happening. It's been drawn. Can start small, can go bigger if you want. Okay, and now because my thread, I can feel it's going to end too soon or pretty quickly, so I'm just gonna get new thread and reload my needle. So again, 2 knots at the end, and then just get rid of this one and get more thread. Yep. Maybe this time we can even go with black, with a different color, just to see what happens, or how the two colors play with each other. Alright, 2 knots at the end. Alright, so from here, my fourth layer, I think I'll just go horizontal again, but only halfway, just to keep some of the red visible. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until number 7, and eyeball it from there. And when I say eyeball, I mean like just measuring with your eyes. Yeah, let's see what we can do with that. Yeah, just be creative and just play and see what you can make, what shows up, how many layers you can add. Yeah, it's literally always just discovering what can happen with the materials and how you feel afterwards. And there you have it. So as you can see, something's already happening. As you can see, something's happening on both ends. I don't know, I'm finding the back a bit more exciting because it's not so planned. And then from here, we can also go diagonal. Yep, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So sometimes I do make sketches and I don't follow them because I feel the artwork has to change or is changing by itself as I'm making it. And I mean, I think that's how ideas work sometimes, where you have one in the beginning and then as you keep working, it changes. And I feel like that's very okay. Okay, we have like 5 knots now. Let's see. And then we have more. So yeah, as you keep layering your thread, you're drawing and you're creating something you didn't imagine. And this is the front. Sometimes I like to leave the loose end because, you know, sometimes it's a bit too straight and the loose thread gives it a different effect, or it makes it a bit softer. But on the front end, it's completely as it was supposed to be. And yeah, you can play with colors, see how the colors match, mix and match what other colors they create. And yeah, there you go.